Transformers Animated ended in May of 2009, but just under 1 year later, in April of 2010, it started anew in Japan. Apparently this is pretty commonplace in Japanese imports from the West, but it makes me sad to think that Japan went almost 4 years without Transformers Animated. Nobody should be without peak television, especially not the country that mothered the franchise to begin with. The Japanese broadcasting of Transformers Animated had a ton of really weird changes that benefited nobody. The series aired in widescreen but cropped the edges of the screen with these borders for some reason. The intro's in widescreen but the show isn't. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least put something cool on the sides like teleshopping or Subway Surfers. The localization team wanted to make the show align with the Michael Bay movies, so much so that they changed Bulkhead's name to Ironhide, which made it pretty awkward when the real Ironhide actually showed up in the show. But maybe the biggest change of all was the fact that each episode of Transformers Animated aired in Japan had up to 3 minutes removed from almost every episode to make room for that sick opening title sequence everybody glazes. But also, room was made to accommodate the subject of today's video, the Otoboto Family. The Otoboto Family was a series of short skits that aired after episodes of Transformers Animated in Japan, and it is by far some of the most compelling material the franchise has ever produced. It's a story of delusion, a story of oppression and fear. They've been on my radar since I made that crappy review of Transformers Prime back in 2017, so this has been a long time coming. The Otoboto Family has haunted me for many, many years, and today, I am finally going to be discussing its contents. This is your warning. Once you are made aware of the Transformers Animated House, as it has come to be known, you cannot be made unaware of it. But first, there is somebody in my home. I can hear them downstairs. I don't know who they are or what they're doing here, but I'm totally screwed. Is what I would say if I didn't have today's sponsor, Saber Custom. Saber Custom series of high-quality dual-ready lightsabers feel great to hold and better to swing. They sent me this 1-to-1 scale recreation of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber to test out, and I can guarantee this is the real deal. It features high-quality sounds and effects so you can pretend to be everybody's favorite green lightsaber-wielding Jedi. Saber Custom has a wide range of other iconic lightsabers belonging to characters all across the Star Wars saga, such as Darth Maul, Palpatine, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Count Dooku, Rey Skywalker, Rey before she was Rey Skywalker, Shadow the Hedgehog, and more. Don't like the color of your lightsaber? That's fine. You can use the Xeno Configurator app to change the color and sound of your lightsaber. Thanks to Saber Custom, I'm able to defend my home with ease and laugh as a Jedi in the middle of the night when nobody can judge me. It really makes you feel like somebody who's been indoctrinated into a space wizard cult. Check out the description below to find a link to Saber Custom's website and YouTube channel where you can purchase all these exciting lightsabers. Once again, thanks to Saber Custom for sponsoring this video. I feel like a real Jedi. The combined runtime of every episode of the Otoboto Family comes to around 80 minutes. There's a lot of ground to cover and a lot of different story arcs we need to address in the Transformers Animated House. Our 4 main characters are the son, the protagonist, the father, the villain of the piece, along with the mother and the daughter, victims.
Oh, look at them. They seem happy. I hope nothing bad happens to them.
Don't worry, you're wrong. For this journey into the Transformers Animated House, I invited Transformers Animated enthusiast Keyan Carlile to try and make sense of the story. Hello, Keyan Carlile.
Yes.
For the self-proclaimed biggest fan of Transformers Animated, Keyan Carlile had somehow never heard of this family's crimes. This wall of animated merch, it means nothing now.
Oh, I didn't even notice this.
Oh.
I thought this was Transformers Prime when I bought it. I was mistaken.
No, you silly man.
Oh.
To begin with, the scene is set innocently enough. This kid just watched the first episode of Animated, and his stupid G1 dad can't help but impose his own G1 ideology on his son by reminiscing about the good old days. Despite this, the dad pulls out a whole bunch of Transformers Animated toys to show his son, revealing he's actually a closeted fan of the show. While the dad and son are eager to play with their new animated toys, the mom and the sister are not so enthralled. In fact, I think they hate having Transformers Animated toys littering their house. Throughout their stay in the Transformers Animated House, the father homeschools his kids by teaching them the ins and outs of the show. He makes them study Transformers. He teaches them math by counting the episodes of the show. They have daily Transformers Animated meetings, and of course, they watch the show in its entirety every single day.
What is he just... He just has a printed photo of Optimus Prime's character model.
It's like, now children, you must look at this. A repeating segment in these shorts is the father explaining episodes of the show to his family immediately after watching them, which I can only assume is a daily occurrence. They wake up at 6 AM, live the animated life, and go to bed at 3 AM the next day, ready to repeat the cycle come the morn. He pulled out the TV remote like, guys, let's watch animated again. Like, no.
Maybe there'll be season 4 this time, kids. Yeah.
Maybe there'll be new scenes if we watch it again. There's one short where he forces his children to draw Transformers animated characters, and it goes about as well as you'd expect. He makes fun of his children's drawings of Sari Sumdak before whipping out a character sheet and claiming it's his own drawing. His first true display of narcissism. It gets to a point where when the son comes home one day with a bruise on his knee, the father ignores it completely and shows him Transformers animated on his laptop instead. When the wife comes in and begins helping the boy, the dad can't help but watch on in disgust. He clearly doesn't care about his children.
He's such a horrible father.
He's doing such a bad job. What's the kid do? He's cleaning
Clean the carpet, I have to play with Bulkhead.
Any affection his kids show for him is never reciprocated. His wife vanishes for days on end, and when she resurfaces, she always looks really on edge. See, this character's named Blitzwing, and he's very cool.
I will allow you kids to play with the Wave 2 characters.
Are they allowed to play with the toys only when the dad tells them?
Only when the dad's in the room, yeah. He's like, you're not allowed to rotate the head, so not Blitzwing, you must remain icy.
If they've moved on the shelves even slightly, he just knows.
He would know if they moved a millimeter. Someone touched Shockwave's leg! Let's find out who it was. Let's roll back the camera.
Have you kids been enjoying animated without me?
I like to imagine that he's like telling them about Generation 1, but he won't let them watch it. It's Daddy's show. It's mine.
So, what is this? A hostage situation? It's looking more and more like one the deeper we get. I got a feeling he doesn't let them leave. Like, Atu, he's the only one that's allowed to leave the house.
They have no friends besides their dad. They're not allowed to talk to their mom.
The family's living and breathing Transformers animated. This isn't normal. Only stinky men in tank tops from Oregon do that. The dad is constantly on the verge of a mental breakdown. His wife only smiles when he's not in the room. His daughter is being slowly indoctrinated into liking animated, and his son is on the receiving end of more and more physical assaults. He doesn't even let him eat food, he steals it from him. It's then that me and Keyan both came to a startling revelation, blowing this case wide open. What if this isn't even his family? Like, he just broke into a house and started doing this to this single mother and 2 children.
And that's why the wife is so scared all the time. Because it's not her husband. And every time he comes into the room, he was off like checking on the chained husband and being like, you better stay quiet. I gotta tell your kids about Transformers animated.
All these smiles are fake, they're just so scared.
But I think this boy's young enough that he really thinks he's his dad. He's been here for 4 years.
He doesn't remember the old dad. To ease the tension of his fake family's increasing uneasiness, the dad buys them a truckload of animated-related merchandise. The only way he can think to calm people down is by giving them more animated. Clothes, backpacks, inner tubes, and a Bumblebee costume that Keyan really seemed to want for some reason. Yo. What is the father's job? How can he keep this family hostage while maintaining a steady income that allows him to afford all these things? It doesn't matter, he buys them arcade machines to distract them. The games he plays with his family are as sick and twisted as you would expect, torturing them with promises of freedom before dashing those hopes away as quickly as they surfaced. If you answer my questions correctly, you will be allowed one call to the outside world.
But you may only call a character from Transformers animated.
He forces them to play a Transformers animated version of Heads Up, ironically having Shockwave on his own head, which is subtle storytelling to tell you how much of a backstabbing manipulator he is. So what do the family do to fight back against the father's torturous nature? Nothing. They can only play his twisted games and submit to his delusions out of fear that they may not see the light at the next dawn. But it's at this point that the Stockholm Syndrome begins to set in for the family. They don't start loving the father, no, but the very idea of Transformers animated itself.
I think even though they know their dad's insane, all of them do really like Transformers animated.
More and more of their shelves bookshelves have become filled with Transformers animated toys, which serves as a wonderful visual metaphor for the increasingly dire circumstances the family find themselves in. Animated is dominating their life, all because of one delusional man and his lust for a cartoon made for children. But this is when things begin to take a turn, as the family soon discovers the terrible truth. The news tells them Transformers Animated has not been renewed for a 4th season. This sends the father into a state of shock, his world crumbling around him. His stupor is quick to turn into a blind rage as the father begins getting visibly angry at the daughter, who has been a pretty neutral player in the story up until this point. The anger arises from the fact that she proves herself to be possibly the strongest member of the family, first by opening a jar with ease, then by downing a Corona Light at the age of 16, and finally being way too good at the arcade machine for his father's liking. The father can feel the walls closing in. His breakdowns become increasingly more common and violent. His family seems sadder and more uncomfortable with each new installment. The child even grills him on a question he's been dreading. Is he even his real dad? He's questioning him where his real dad is.
Is it true you're not my real father? And this is why the dad's having a mental breakdown, because he thinks he's gonna get caught by the police.
This causes the father to have another breakdown, which is when the mother springs into action with an attempt to poison the father with acid. I want him to throw it in his dad's face and scar him like Two-Face.
It's just acid.
It's acid!
It's a meltdown! It's meltdown's goop!
This seems to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the father, who begins to turn on the world itself. Taking after the Grinch, at Christmas time he gathers an assortment of Transformers animated fan art made by children, with the intention of using it to kindle a flame of fire to burn his house to the ground with. He described this plan earlier on a board in his living room, detailing that the wife would be the first to perish. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, a special guest arrives to try and calm down the father on this crazy winter evening. Wait a minute. So, oh my god, Santa's here.
Santa's like, let them fucking go!
Look, children, here are the toys you wanted.
That is because he got that toy last year.
After physically assaulting Santa Claus, the deranged father feeds him the poison his wife tried to use to murder him. They're poisoning Santa!
No! He fucking dies. He like falls over the table, knocks all the toys off. And just
The table breaks. Ironically, the wife's plan to free herself and her kids backfired so horrendously that it forced the entire planet into an eternal winter due to the passing of Santa Claus. Yeah, that's what happens when Santa dies, kids. Look it up. Dad, we got a letter in the mail. Oh my god, it's the police. They're telling me to let you go.
Imagine the police just like sending a letter written in marker, being like, let those people go.
Please let those hostages go. And he just writes one back that just says no.
The police are like, well, that's all we can do.
We don't have a warrant to search the property. The mounting pressure from the police combined with the intense cold and the cancellation of Transformers Animated sends the father fully over the edge. In the days following Christmas, he draws a blade with the intent of ending everything once and for all. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. What's he gonna do?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's like, oh no, he's making threats again. But this time, the family is ready for him. Wait.
Oh shit!
Oh, it's this death scene.
This is their escape.
This is the plan.
No!
Oh.
They're so happy he's dead.
Yes! He's dead!
Oh god, he's getting carried away.
Finally, we're free!
It's fitting. It's actually so fitting that the boy gets to kill the dad after everything that dad did to him.
And so, the wife, daughter, and son escape the Transformers animated house and run off into the harsh winters of a world without Santa Claus. Where will they go? Can they ever truly leave Transformers animated behind? Will they ever get to watch Transformers Prime? We will never know, my friends. For this is where the story of the Otoboto family ends. But yeah, that was the Otoboto family. What did you think of that, Keyan Carlile, Transformers animated fan?
Well, PaperPlane Transformers animated fan, I think that I learned a lot today about myself and the world around me. I'm gonna go jump in my bathtub forever.
What?
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck we just watched. That was insane. Do you think Marty Eisenberg's even seen this?
You should ask him.
We should show it to him.
I found this to be deeply perverse and upsetting. I'm glad the story of the Transformers animated house was able to end on somewhat of a happy ending, although I would like to know what happened to these people. This catabasis we took only taught me one thing. Fear transcends language. I'm pretty sure me and Keyan were able to accurately communicate to you what happened in the Transformers animated house, and the language barrier didn't give us any room to misconstrue what occurred in these shorts at all. I'm fairly certain these shorts weren't just innocent little vignettes meant to amuse children and teach them how to transform their Transformers. If anyone tells you otherwise, then just kill them, I don't care. I'd like to thank Keyan Carlile for taking time out of his busy schedule to watch this with me, but I fear it may be too late for both of us. The Transformers animated house comes for everybody in the end. In one way or another, the obsession for this show will creep up on you, as it does for everybody. Is loving Transformers animated something we should be proud of? I don't know. I really don't know. An obsession with anything will lead to great torment. This proved it. To quote a particularly poignant poem about obsession by Mark Z. Danielovsky, little solace comes to those who grieve, when thoughts keep drifting as walls keep shifting, and this great blue world of ours seems a house of leaves, moments before the wind.
Fuck you.
Damn, okay, shit.
Yeah.